Hello everyone, this is Shivam here and welcome to another episode. What we're going to cover today is more practice oriented. So I figured we could spend some time actually talking about time management, and this is especially if you're starting out with time management, because there are different levels when it comes to time management. Either you could have a really advanced form of project management which requires a whole different kind of time management just for yourself and others. And then there's the other kind which we're going to talk about today around the basics of time management. So this video is going to be relevant for you if you are just out of college, or if you're just entering the workforce, or consequently if you've just entered college and you never really built the habits that you need to be successful when it comes to managing your time. So when I was a kid, I would mostly just spend my entire evening watching TV. My parents weren't specifically strict with me. Because of that, when I went to college, I didn't really have the skills that I needed to manage my time well. I actually would stay up all night long finishing my assignments, and then had terrible days all after that because I just could not manage my time well. So I don't want that happening with you. I want you to be able to spend your time the way you want it. So right now it's very different. I have that extra time at the end of the day to work out. I get my work done in time and I deliver on everything that's required of me. And I've pretty much figured out time management at an intermediate to intermediate advanced level. So I figured I could share that with you. So what we're going to go over today are 3 key things that you can actually include in your everyday practice. And we'll deep dive and elaborate on some of these points as well. All right, the first one is actually maintaining a to-do list. And if this is something that you do not do, I really suggest you begin incorporating it in your everyday practice. Mainly because it helps you keep track of tasks and makes it such that you don't forget them at a later point in time. For example, there have been so many times where people have given me a particular piece of task or something to do, or sent me an email with some kind of follow-up, and I've completely forgotten and dropped the ball on it until I've put that actually in a to-do list or any kind of task list. Secondly, and this one is my personal favorite, it really works for me, is that it gets rid of procrastination. Mainly because it takes away all the anxiety with having all these tasks actually collected in the back of your head. So this happens a lot with me, where I just get bogged down by all the things that I have to do in the day, especially if they're all floating around in my head. As I'm going through the tasks of the day, I'm thinking about what I need to do next. But when I put that down in writing, I'm able to just do the task and not really think about what needs to be done next, so much so that it causes me anxiety. And thirdly, it gives you that sense of satisfaction, right? When you're crossing out every task that you complete, you feel worthy. At least I do. Every time I finish off a task, I feel that confidence that comes from being able to see myself as somebody who is on task, somebody who is getting things done. That actually contributes a lot to self-worth and confidence. So I do suggest that you try out a to-do list. All right, now that I've actually finished making a case for to-do lists, let's talk about how to actually get this stuff done. So the first thing that you need to keep in mind is that you essentially have 2 lists, not one. The first list is where you put in all the tasks that come to you during the day, during your work week, or whenever it is a task comes to you. It could be in class, it could be while you're working, it could be via email, it could be your parent giving you a call or dropping you a message telling you that something needs to be done. But as soon as that task comes in, you'd put it in your first list. And then when you've figured out when you want to do that task, or when you want to prioritize your tasks, you'll put it on your second list. We'll talk about that later. If you've never done to-do lists before, what I would suggest you do is take an hour and a half, and just write down all the things that are left pending in your life that you need to get done. It could be the smallest task, and it could be the most large, most complicated task in the world. Either or, just go ahead and write that down on a piece of paper. What I want you to keep in mind is that as time goes on and as you get more and more tasks, remember to put that down in your to-do list. And one last thing that you'd want to keep in mind when you are putting down tasks in that to-do list is to be as specific as possible in terms of what expected actions are you supposed to put towards that particular task. For example, if I'm supposed to write somebody an email telling them that I want a particular document from them, I won't just say write this person an email. I'm going to say write this person an email for this document. This removes the ambiguity or the confusion in any vague task, and it makes it more clear to our minds that a particular input is required. All right, so I hope that wasn't too much information, because we still have 2 more best practices to go. And if it was, then just take a pause, go ahead and finish off your to-do list and come back to this video. I'm going to be right here, and then we can go through 2 and 3. Now, the second one is actually prioritize the tasks that you're going to be doing at the start of every day. If you recall, I actually told you that you need to be maintaining 2 to-do lists. That's TWO to-do lists. And I just want to say that I got this idea from The Art of Stress-Free Productivity. So if you're ever interested in learning more advanced concepts for managing your time, you can definitely check that book out. It will definitely be worth every inch of effort you put into reading it. Right, so 2 lists. Your first list is your in basket, or every task that comes your way, no matter what task it is, big or small, you're going to put it in that list. And now your second list is your prioritized task list. It could be something which you prioritize at the start of every day, or it could be something that you prioritize in the middle of your day or in the middle of your work week. For the sake of simplicity, I suggest you set this prioritized task list at the start of every day. So for example, my mom tells me, hey Shivam, you gotta go get some groceries for the house. Secondly, I walk downstairs to go get groceries, and my watchman or the guard who stands downstairs tells me, hey, can you please give me a tip? It's coming close to Diwali and I need some money. And the third thing that comes to my mind as I'm walking to the grocery store is that I need to actually apply for colleges. I need to send my application in tonight. Now, if I were to use that 2-list system, what I would do is first write down all the tasks that came to me. It is about my mom wanting groceries, it's about the watchman, and also it's about me actually applying to colleges. So now whenever it is that I'm sitting down to actually get all this work done, I'm going to bring my first list, which is my exhaustive list of all the tasks that I have to do, out. And I'm going to look at all the tasks and I'm going to prioritize them based on importance. I prefer to prioritize my most important tasks first. That way, when I'm nice and energetic in the morning, I get the toughest things done first. In this particular situation, the first thing that I'm going to do is actually apply to colleges. The second thing I'm going to do is buy groceries for mom online. And the third thing is, in the evening when I'm going down for my walk, I'm just going to go ahead and give the watchman a tip if I so feel like it. And one more important factor about prioritizing tasks is to actually do one task at a time. It does not matter what your approach is, but by and large, research has found that multitasking is not an effective way of going about doing your work. It makes you inefficient at each one of those things that you're multitasking at. So the best alternative for you to actually do is to do one task at a time. A technique that really works for me when I am doing one task at a time is the Pomodoro technique, which is essentially taking 25 minutes on a task and then stopping at the end of 25 minutes no matter where I am, and then taking a 5-minute break, and then going ahead again and doing a 25-minute chunk and then a 5-minute chunk after that of break until I've actually finished my task completely. And that's when I can take a larger break, or when I've finished maybe 4 Pomodoros or 4 of those 25-minute cycles. There's a lot of information out online about the Pomodoro technique, and I really do suggest that you check it out if you want to make yourself a little bit more effective when you're finishing those tasks. And if you decide not to use the Pomodoro technique, remember to give yourself sufficient breaks, because it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. You're safe, you're comfortable, don't worry about it. Just go one task at a time and just go simple. And the third tip that you can do as a beginning time manager or somebody who is just beginning to manage your own time is to reflect on your daily tasks and your daily progress. To start out with, let me just define reflection for you. Reflection is looking back at a particular experience and evaluating it, looking back and thinking about all the things that went well for you and all the things that did not go well for you in terms of outcomes. Once you've identified those favorable and unfavorable outcomes, you then have a chance to think about what you would change about the situation. And this is very important because time management is also about constant improvement. You're not going to be the best time manager the first day that you start doing it, but the hope is that you actually put yourself on a journey of continuously improving how you work with your time. And the best way that we know how to do that is through reflecting upon your own performance at the end of every day. It's also important that you do it at the end of every day and not reflect on the previous day's performance the next day, because research has found the more immediate your reflection, the more powerful it is in terms of insights that it can give you. The main idea with this approach is to ask yourself without judgment, what did you like about this experience that you put yourself through? What did you not like? What did you enjoy? Were there any points in time that you were bored? When exactly through this process did you feel energized? What type of work did you get done quickly? So here's a few questions our intern Vivek actually put together for us to actually think about how our performance is going. So these are some questions you can ask yourself at the end of the day to make sure that you've kind of checked all the boxes when it comes to approaching time management correctly. Do I prioritize my tasks, or did I prioritize my tasks? Did I use a calendar? Did I set and respect deadlines? Did I focus on one thing at a time? Do I say no when needed? Do I set reasonable goals? Do I take frequent breaks? Do I limit my distractions? Additionally, there are plenty of resources online that you can look into if you want to improve your reflective practice. I also have a video called How to Self-Reflect if learning how to self-reflect better is something that you're interested in. So that does it for all the information that I have for you. If you've made it this far and you've been listening throughout, I want to thank you so much for your engagement. Go ahead and let me know what your approach to managing your time would be. And if you like the content in this video, go ahead and give me a like. Share it with a friend if you think that they might benefit from this. If you have any friends like me who were once upon a time or who are dumbasses when it comes to managing their time, they may get some value out of this. I hope you have a great rest of your day.